Hey everyone, Sambat here. When it comes to astrophotography imaging session, a proper auto-guiding setup is required in order for a better quality images. There are a lot of options available. First one is to use a dedicated guide scope and a dedicated guide camera. Second is if you are using a Celestron mounts, Celestron StarSense Auto Guider is an option. Third is the off-axis guider. That's the one we are going to take a look at it today. I have Celestron off-axis guider with me, so we'll do the unboxing and then we will help you to set up in the imaging train. Okay, I have the off-axis guider here. Let's unbox it and then see what's the content it comes along with it. So let me open up. So this is the manual. Okay, I've removed everything from the package. As you can see here, there is a number of attachments that comes with the package. First one is the SCT adapter. This is what you will use to attach to the visual back of your telescope. Also comes with a male M48 and male M42 T-thread camera adapter. So there are spacer rings, the medium M48, and there is long T-thread spacer ring which is 24.25 mm, and there is the medium T-threaded spacer ring that is 11.5 mm. There's also a short T-threaded spacer which is 6 mm. So all these spacer rings really helps you to achieve the back focus depending on your setup. It also comes with a female M48 adapter and also the female M42 T-threaded adapter. So depending on whether you're going with 48 or 42, you can choose the attachments and set up your imaging train. So let's talk about what is the off-axis guider how it is functioning. So hopefully you can see the main component is your prism. What happens is when you focus this to your telescope, a tiny little portion of your field of view light is getting reflected back into this section. This is where you will attach your guide camera, and the light that gets reflected is utilized to identify the stars, and that's how the guiding is going to work. Next is to look at the some capabilities. You have a way to adjust the focus here. So it's a good thing to actually have this one. And you can also remove the prism. There's a little screw that's here, and you can use that. You can unscrew that and to adjust the prism up and down. So that's also possible. I'm going to leave it at the default for now. When I'm actually setting up the imaging train, I may have to actually adjust the prism, and so that's the way to actually do that using that little screw. Not sure whether you can see, it's a little bit dark. So it's right here, and you can actually utilize the unscrew the screw to actually move the prism up and down. Right, so that's all about what's in the box, and let's talk about the guide scope, and then we will set it up in the imaging train. Okay, for my guide camera, I've actually chosen ZWO ASI174Mini. ZWO has another version of the guide camera also. I think it is ASI120Mini. Between both of them, the major difference is the size of the sensor. This version 174 Mini has a larger sensor, 120 Mini has a little bit smaller sensor there. For me, the choice was based on the size of the sensor, because better the size of the sensor, you get much better field of view and you can cover more stars at a time, so which is critical for the guiding purpose. So let's go ahead and actually unbox this one also and see what's inside. So it comes with a manual, and the next one is the camera itself, and has the cable from USB to USB-C, a longer version of the cable, and if you need a shorter version of it, that's also available, which is again a USB to USB-C. There is another cable here, which is the ST4, which is what you would use for sending the signals to the auto guiding into your mount. So that's all in the box. So let's also see what additionally it came with it. It comes with an extender. So let me open up this one. And so if you see here, this is the cap, that's fine. So it also comes with additional adapter here. So that's actually M228.5 C5 adapter, this one. And this is the 1.25 inch extender, and you could slide this whole thing in. Not necessarily if you need to use the extender in your case, if you're able to set it up without the extender. That's all the things that comes in the box. One of the things that I noticed here is the extender itself at the end. So you have a glass that's there, which is very good if you keep it that way. And the sensor, if you leave it open, it may get the dust and you will have to clean it up, and cleaning up a sensor is a little bit of a messy process. So keep this always in and use the extender as much as possible. I would suggest that. And in terms of the sensor size itself, hopefully you can see here right now, it's much bigger than what you have for the other model, which is the 120 Mini. So I would recommend you guys to actually choose this version of the ZWO. If you're going with ZWO, choose this model of guide camera. So that's what is in the box. Let's go and actually set it up in the Off-Axis Guider and continue the setup. I have the Celestron 9.25 HHD here. So to start attaching the Off-Axis Guider, first let's go and actually attach the visual back. I have already attached the reducer here. So in your case, it's not if it is not needed, then all you need is the visual back. So go ahead and thread it in. So what this visual back actually provides you is it converts the so it allows you to actually attach 48 mm threads. If you see here, this is the threaded area, which is 48 mm, and onto that you will go and attach the SCT adapter that came along with it. So let's go and attach that. So next, notice the grooves over here. This is where you will be attaching the Off-Axis Guider. And when it comes to the Off-Axis Guider, one of the things that you need to notice is there is a flat surface of the prism, and there's a kind of slightly angled surface of the prism. So make sure the flat surface is pointing towards the telescope. Okay, let's go and loosen up the screws and slide this one in. I think I need a little bit more. go. So the good thing about this is not a threaded section, so you can rotate it if you want, and you can adjust the guide camera to be positioned properly, which is a nice thing. You don't have to take it out and try to adjust the whole threading, so you just have to remove the screws and then you can actually adjust the whole setup here. So that's nice. So next is where you will attach the other additional set of attachments. So in my case, and what goes after this really depends on your rest of the imaging train. And I am actually, let me move this a little bit. So in my case, I would love to actually have all of them as M48 thread. So I'm just going to slide this one in. And screw the thumb screws. So that completes the whole setup process for attaching the off-axis guider alone. And as you can see at the top, this is where you could actually slide your guide camera in. And also, if you need it, you can actually also use your lens over here to do some visual observations, but not ideal. But just in case, if you are trying to figure out whether everything works or not, you can just slide an eyepiece in here, check it out, and then actually switch to the guide camera again. Let's go and attach the guide camera to the off-axis guider. So just to do that, take the guide camera, slide it in, and make sure you fully tighten the screws over here. And one other thing that you will notice here is the adjustment down below helps you to actually move the camera up and down in case if you want to actually adjust how you are seeing the image in your software. So this is another useful thing that to note. And as I said before, by adjusting these screws, you can position the image in right angle, so it aligns with how you are seeing in your main camera also. So that's all about the attachment here. So the way to transfer the image from this guide camera to your computer is use the USB-C port, and this side goes into your computer. And for the auto guiding, attach the SD4 port to your guide camera, the mount SD4 port. That should actually send the signals automatically moment you lock in a particular guide star, and it will work. All these we will look into that in another video, but for now, hope this actually helps you guys to complete the whole setup for the guide camera. Let's talk about using a off-axis guider versus a guide scope. So both are actually good approaches, and it really depends on where you are using it. When it comes to off-axis guider, it's something that you would usually use inside the SAT, and the approach of the off-axis guider is to use a small prism in the line of sight of a light that is coming to your guide camera, reflect a portion of the light and to your guide camera, and that's how it works. In terms of the guide scope, you have a dedicated scope and also a guide scope attached to that dedicated scope. You will attach the guide scope on top of your telescope. So fundamentally they are different in terms of how the guiding actually works. Compatibility wise, both are, I would say it's compatible, but off-axis guider from Celestron is specifically focused on SCTs predominantly, You could use the off-axis guider from Celestron from other purposes also, but letting you know that this is something that Celestron designed with the focus of SCTs in mind. Guide scope, they are something you can utilize for shorter focal lens, like refractors or the camera lenses in that way. You would need to go with the guide scope when you don't have kind of adapters, or the when we looked at the setup, so the visual back provided like 48 kind of a threaded, right? So you need to really have a good amount of space in order to attach the off-axis guiders, since it is heavy on compared to the guide scope setup, which can go on top of your telescope. So take that into your mind when you are choosing between a guide scope and a off-axis guider. So you can read through the rest of the things, but in one of the key things that drove me to off-axis guider is my experience with guide scope has not been that great, because in order to align a guide scope and your imaging camera, sometimes you have to spend a lot of time in tweaking the alignment process, which is a bit tedious, and it took time for me to actually get it set up and going. And second thing is, when the auto guiding is happening, it's possible that there's a very slight movement in your guide scope because of the movements of the telescope or whatever the reasons are. Even the slightest movement can actually cause misalignment between your camera and your guide scope. For me, for my preference, I would rather just set it up once and let everything run smoothly. Because off-axis guider approach works by intervening a little bit of light from your main telescope field of view for your main camera. So for me, it does feels like a better approach for longer term use and for better imaging. I am yet to test out everything yet with the most recent setups. I will post a upcoming video with the results of them, but so far it does feel like it will help me for better guiding and better imaging. So that's being said, when we look at the different off-axis guiders that are available, two things stood out for me when I was researching. One is the ZWO Off-Axis Guider, and that's the Celestron Off-Axis Guider, which is what we reviewed in this video. So ZWO works very well with the ZWO cameras, and they've designed it with the ZWO ecosystem of telescopes and mounts, everything in mind. Celestron, they did it with SCTs in mind, but Celestron does work very well with most of the setups, and you can switch between different cameras however you choose. Like, the main difference that I feel it's very important is the size of the prism. ZWO and Celestron, if you compare side by side, the amount of the size of the prism in the Celestron is bigger, and it also eliminates or it just gives us a lower netting that's possible. Netting means that's the darker areas at the sides of your imaging, so it does not actually provide such a problem compared to the ZWO. So I haven't personally reviewed the ZWO, that's what I'm hearing. So that's also some of the reasons I chose the Celestron Off-Axis Guider. Coming to weight, that's where the difference is, and for me, I use HD SCT, so it comes with a threading which can hold a larger amount of weight, so it's fine for me. But notice the weight of the off-axis guider, it's 510 gram. And when you add all the other imaging accessories, you really have to take into account how much weight you're adding into back of your telescope. So make sure that you work for you before you go with a Celestron Off-Axis Guider, or completely if you want to switch to the guide scope also, that's fine. But take that into account, the weight, when you're actually deciding which one to go. Performance wise, I think they are both great, and like I said, for me the size of the prism and vignetting was my key factor here. Price, ZWO, as of this recording, is around like $199, but Celestron goes about like $329 right now. One thing that you better take into account is, as soon as you receive your package, make sure you check the prism inside the Celestron. I've heard the prism sometimes, a lot of times, comes broken, so make sure you check it, and if it is not, then reach out to the Celestron to get a replacement ASAP. That's another thing. Next is about the comparison between the ASI120 Mini and ASI174 Mini. As I said previously, the important factor that drove me towards selection of 174 Mini is the size of the sensor. So as you can see from here, 120 Mini is 4.8 into 3.6 mm. On the other hand, 174 is 11.3 into 7.1 mm, and it has IMX249 sensor also. So that means that you are able to see more. Although both of them are monochrome, this is not meant to be imaging cameras. So both of them are monochromes, and it does actually help to actually capture a lot of image at once, and then choose the guiding star for your purposes. Resolution wise also, ASI24 is better, and likewise read noise is also better. FPS is 18.4. So if you are actually trying to set up something for a longer term, just take this into account. Even though it may be on the higher end in terms of a price, it's probably worth actually investing right now. And the good thing is you can use this camera into multiple telescopes that if you have, it doesn't have to be attached to only one telescope. So invest once and then use it in multiple places. That's also something that you can think of. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm looking for your comments in the comment section. Next video is going to be about main camera, and with that we will completing the imaging train series, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, have a great day and clear skies.